All right, everybody, welcome to yet another daily dose of swipe. Yeah, I did not upload a video yesterday, and the day before yesterday. By the way, like the day before yesterday, I was recording an audit for one of my leads. Let's say not the client, and I did like an 1 hour audit of the entire of his entire business, of top to bottom, right? What's the top of funnel content looks like, what the top of funnel content looks like, what the market sophistication is, what the offer is, and is it saturated or not, and stuff like that. How he can improve his top of funnel content and actually funnel content. I'm sorry, the funnel people into his opt-in pages, landing pages effectively. And I also went around and critiqued his web, the upcoming, like he was trying to test out a new web page, a sales page, let's say, and I was, critiquing it, and I did all sorts of breakdowns. I went deep, I went in depth, I analyzed everything that could possibly be covered, and I have it like one of my unlisted videos yesterday. I was not able to stay consistent with my uploads, but the day before yesterday I did the audit, so I kind of counted as my daily dose of swipe, something like that. And yeah, of course, I read through an email yesterday. I did the bare minimum, but I did not upload the video. I'm sorry for that. But today we're gonna do our good old, going through surfing through the subject lines. We're gonna see what clicks. Of course, we're not gonna break down the copy from people who have already broken down. Okay, this is good. Wait a sec. And what was I saying? Yeah, so today we're gonna do the same good old surfing through the subject lines. We're gonna see which subject line hooks us, except for the people who have already broken down, or whose copy I've already broken down. And yeah, so I'm just gonna print it out as a PDF and gonna break down as usual. This one's gonna be a pretty quick video. Probably not gonna be much longer than 30 minutes, because we have like a webinar coming up in 3 hours or so. So just gonna compress it. Just gonna do the bare minimum. If you're new to this channel, I'm Samir out, and I break down long form, short form, all sorts of copy here. If you're watching this, you're probably a copywriter or a marketer, right? You want to extract the principles of sales principles that your competitors and industry leaders apply into their businesses, so that you can you can implement them into your business, so you make a hell of a lot more money. And that's what we are all here for at the end of the day, right? Let's without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's get into the breakdown. Let's see whose email pops out the most in the subject line, and break it down and present to you. So Ben said of advice to people, does not take attention, does not. Okay, now if there was a subject line which was like a word long, right? You only meant like there's only a single word. For example, let's say a random confession email, which we used, like the subject line was just confession, there was no preview. It stood out when I sent it to this account, right? And it was in between wherever it was, I don't know, but it stood out, completely stood out, right? It had no preview, nothing else. It was just a small confession, like the word confession on the subject line. It stood out, and sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you should not do it, because you should not make pattern interrupt a pattern, right? As you can see, like when you just this is like how your prospects inbox looks like. They signed up to multiple different newsletters, they've signed up for multiple different softwares, and maybe account, like they're making account with new apps or softwares or something like that, right? So they're gonna receive a bunch of emails, and you have to stand out. How would you stand out in this, right? You cannot just say like random subject lines, and that feels good to yourself. That's gonna satisfy your ego, but it's not gonna get you any sales. whenever I see creators complaining about not making money with their email list or something like that, there are multiple different issues that can arise with it. For example, right now I feel like the current list that I'm handling is kind of cooked, meaning I feel like there's like a deliverability issues and the list health is not that good, so might have to, that's a different case. But generally what the case is that you're just writing random subject lines. You're not appealing to the reader. You don't know him. You're just writing what you feel good, right? That should not be the case. It should like answer the so what question. If your subject line is like random, like 3 tips to blah blah blah, sometimes yeah it works, but majority of the time it does not, because see, like this is how your like prospects inbox is. If you do not stand out in the subject line, in no way they're gonna read your kick-ass value email and go through and maybe click the link at the end and go to your funnel and buy your stuff, right? So yeah, sometimes it's deliverability issues, your list health. Some more other times it's just your subject line. Your subject line is cooked, right? Now, right now for the list health, what we're doing is what I'm gonna do is export the list to million verifier or never bounds, and they're gonna verify the emails for us. They're gonna say that these emails, uh, they're gonna give us a chart of whether like which as for which emails are actually healthy that you should keep emailing to, and which you should remove, and which are actually like hampering our list, and maintain, maybe work on the DKIM like setup, SPF setup, right? Stuff like that, and to maintain the, and maybe do like a reignition campaign or something like that, so that we can boost engagement and increase the deliverability, right? And maintain the list health throughout the span of the brand. Okay, carousels. Now see, like whenever you use emails in your subject line, you kind of pop out more. People are more likely to notice it. But even if you have like a kick-ass subject lines and people are still not opening it, with the iOS 15 update and stuff like that, your open rates are not a like that well of a tangible metric, right? These days it's your CDRs, and if you like have the best subject lines and you subject lines, right, and you're getting like high opens but you're not getting, like you're getting less than 1% CDRs, then it's probably like you should check your like list health once, like do a have monthly checkup or some stuff like that. Because what happens is, people stop using the Gmail accounts, people switch to another one, people die, right? And in these cases, these emails are like kind of dead. And if you start sending emails to them, people are gonna feel like, or let's say a Gmail is gonna flag you as kind of a bot, because who sends an email to a dead person? Like, are you dumb? Something like that, right? So you should regularly get your uh, email health checked up as well. Everything's going digital, like you need to some digital health as well. Okay, seize the rule, not the exception. How to make living in the age of the guru fanboys bearable. We've already broken down from Ben Settle, can do every, no more of this after today. So what kind of stuff, right? A habit we should both copy. The Majorana code, Microsoft's weirdest bet yet. Uh, this might click to some of your target market, right? That I've not mentioned that stuff, but sometimes uh, your subject line might, for example, I have subscribed to like a wide variety of lists, and I do not know some of the niche topics that they mention in the subject lines and stuff like that. And if you think like a niche understands this stuff that you're mentioning, you should go ahead and implement that, because it sounds way more personalized. But I suggest always writing copy, in a sense that unless like it's a segment, I barely open like 1% of these emails, right? 1 to 2% of these emails. meaning like I'm still cold to them despite me being in the email lists. So there's no way in the world that they should segment me into, somebody who's like warmed up and like consistently opening their emails. Definitely not. They should not do that. That's why, like I say, this depends, and there are all sorts of stuff when you talk about this topic. Let's get back to the breakdown, or let's say, our hunt for the best subject line. More than ever, you're only as good as your ideas. Whenever like copywriters are writing for copywriters, right, they tend to get more lazy. They just want more people like them, or people who understand them, or people who are on the same journey as them. These people have already have some form of expertise in whatever they do, and they have spent a lot of time in this space, and they are trying to lead the upcoming generation into in like launching off their careers and whatnot. But these people tend to get lazy with it, right? Not Ben Settle, but other copywriters generally, and they just feel like, yeah, it's a problem. They just feel like it's value driven. It's completely value driven, and they should not optimize for sales and stuff like that. And they're just out here to build the personal connection rather than the sale or long term sales relation, which is eventually what happens. But I don't know. Like I tend to notice it. I tend to notice it often, so I pointed it out. How Ben went from blah blah blah. Okay, now I know Charlie Morgan. Like I've broken down one of his emails, and I know like he consistently posts about his case studies. So there's that. How I start an online business with just $100. See, like I'm not even like actually reading Charlie's emails, right? But he consistently sends me emails like every other day or so. Now I might not open his email, but his subject line say it all, right? He is helping Ben. Now 2 3 days back, it was probably some like John, maybe it was like, and so on, right? And maybe like I'm lurking behind the email. I'm lurking in the shadows, but I'm seeing like he's consistently sending emails, so he has more touch points with me, right? He is in my mental bandwidth consistently. So whenever I suffer, let's say, and have like an agency problem 5 months from now, or possibly even years from now, and this guy's still sending me, I'm gonna say like, damn it, this guy knows his stuff. He has gotten results for so many guys. Ain't no way like he's not gonna do so for me. He has like thousands of case studies. In no way like he's not gonna do a similar stuff, do something similar for me. So he's like the main authority. Now this is what you're trying to do. So that's why like when people say like, oh, I did launch this campaign and I'm not getting sales forever, like they expect to get sales, like they just send like one email a month and expect to get like 20 grand per month with their copywriting, or I'm sorry, with their emails. It does not happen like that. You should like email often. Maybe like I'd possibly suggest one per day, if not three per week at the bare minimum. Bare minimum. You see, he who has more touch points in the game is gonna win, because conversion cycle exists, if you believe it or not. And if you do not position yourself as an authority throughout the whole conversion span, and until it elapses, he or she is not gonna buy your product. And the conversion window generally depends upon the niche. It generally depends upon your brand, your the top of funnel content as well. So there are much more nuances to this. So let's not dive deep. All I'm asking you to take away a concept from this video, or from this specific section, is just know that conversion cycle is a thing, and you need to have more touch points with your prospects so that you can position yourself as an authority in their head and constantly be on top of their head, and so that they eventually buy your product, given that they now know, like, and trust you. Was Seattle Liberals again? This guy, see, look at this guy. He has more touch points than I like. He has more touch points than majority of the people. And yeah, it's polarizing. Yeah, you're gonna annoy some people, but as I said, you're only gonna annoy those people who are never gonna buy from you anyways. How I start an online business with just $100, man. too beginner friendly. I don't think I'm in that space anywhere, anytime like right now, right? Too beginnery. Perks, bennies, and bonuses, man. Well, weird truth about growth on social. Weird truth that people have heard it like a lot. Women are like expensive web domains. Isn't that a good one? Women are like expensive web domains. Like, what does that mean? Kind of intrigues you, right? Maybe we should do a Blaine Anderson breakdown. We haven't done one. We have done one relationship promo breakdown from Marnie Wingo, but we haven't done one from Blaine Anderson, who is also like a huge personality in this space. Is this it? OMG, I'm finally 30, officially 37. Sometimes like these emails like these like tend to get more opens like OMG, I'm officially 37. Like, wait a second, who are you? When did I subscribe to your list? Like, occasionally I'm saying, right? You're not gonna get that every day. I hate my website. Yeah, maybe this is, a conversation that goes around in the prospect said Chris Orchishevsky. Simple hack that actually works to sign more clients. Let's see, authority. How do you build authority? How much content you have, how many followers you have, who follows you, case studies and proof of client results. Okay. How to start your month right? Woohoo, the shiz works. Is there a new guy? Okay. Let's do this Blaine Anderson promo breakdown. Where did it go? Blaine, 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 Blaine. Okay, women are like expensive web domains. Enough to intrigue you. My one-on-one client Mark made a small fortune buying and selling web domains. He bought dozens of domains at friend.com and resold them at huge premiums as internet adoption. My Mark is something so fascinating and telling me about his job. Is the number one mistake buyers make is falling in love with one domain name. They decide they must have hell or high water. You often have to hit such a big parlay to get it. Actually finding the owner, getting them to listen to you, hoping they want to sell it, hoping their price expectations are in line with what you can pay, etc. They are basically unlimited options to choose from. Better to find a domain who's ready to sell at a price you pay rather than go on a wild goose chase. Guess what? This applies to women and dating. So story, lesson, CDA, right? This is a story, then it's gonna be lesson, then it's gonna be CDA. Like good old, right? Like the one we did for, I'm sorry, like the one that for Nerd Fitness email that we broke down, the welcome email. Just because your girl you like is nominally available, example, you match on Bumble does not mean you should invest 100% of your time and energy toward just her. She might be single, she might have forgotten to delete her profile. She might think you're crude, or she might have accidentally swiped right. She might want a date, or she may just want validation from a pen pal. She might be a good fit, or she might decide you're not what she's looking for. Whether you fixate on women, you set up yourself for disappointment. Too many opportunities, give yourself options. Blah blah blah, one to blah blah. Okay, good all right. So we're gonna break this down effectively. I'm gonna pause the video for now. Okay, by the way, today is day 50, so it's been 50 days of not consistent because we missed 2 days in a row, these last 2 days specifically, and we missed a day on day 6 or day 7, something like that. So it's not consistent, but it's at least, day 50, we've done 50 breakdowns. So congratulations to us if you watched all of them. Congratulations to you. You're a G. Make sure you, I hope you commented on stuff like that. Nobody's watching my videos anyway, so I don't give to shit, but I'm gonna assume that somebody is, so I'm gonna talk to you as if, right? Women are like expensive web domain. Before we start with the breakdown and whatnot, let's, what the hell, I like always like to mention about environment. Now, when I break down stuff, I break down stuff, or let's say copy, from like two perspectives. One is from like a marketer perspective. Another is from like a prospect's perspective. Now I'm gonna assume, I'm gonna put myself into the reader's shoes, and I'm gonna assume that I am heavily suffering with women. I want to, what do you call it, step up on my dating game or whatnot. So I'm gonna look at it from that perspective, right? um, and there's also like environment. Now let me first talk about environment. Now, like, who could be on this list? Like, who could be actually reading this? What's the market sophistication? What's the market awareness? What does the person already know, right? Stuff like that. What the traffic source is, who are actually seeing this, how are they gonna turn out, like, what is the mental frame. Now I can talk about each and every step of the process, because I'm not a customer, and a customer cannot be a marketer. So it's gonna be somewhat, let's say, distorted, somewhat mixed, right? Somewhat, it's not gonna be, I'm saying that it's not gonna be correct to the point, right? But I'm just gonna make a rough assumption, because I could look into her funnel on, as a, as a, I could like swipe her funnel. I could like look into her funnel and go through it, see like what she's trying to do, and maybe see if she's running any ads or not. But at the end of the day, I will never know who her ideal prospect is, right? I wouldn't know what the conversion metrics are, right, and stuff like that, and we wouldn't know where they're buying media from, if they actually are, right? It could be, it's private, right, and I can only give a public view on this. So whenever I do these kind of breakdowns, take my advice with a grain of salt, okay, because I do not have access to the entire data set. Environment, now probably he knows Blaine, like he's watched some of his content. I'm saying probably, it could have been from ad as well. It's not that you can't have content in your ads. It's just that maybe let's assume that this guy who, like, he somewhat knows Blaine. He's watched some of his reels, some of his stats. Maybe maybe he went through Blaine's ads, and maybe he has gone through her sales page and read every part of it, but did not have the time and effort, let's say time and money, to invest on dating as a whole, because he was too busy with his stuff or whatnot. But he, like, Blaine is on the, like, a top of the mind for him, right? And he's like on the fence right now. He just needs like another chance. He's on the, like, he's lurking behind her emails, like we are for Charlie Morgan, like, for some minutes ago. And yeah, so he has like a dating problem. Maybe like he wants to meet new women. He had like a terrible breakup and he wants to move on. And he's had recently, tried to move on, but he's just not getting that high level of attraction and stuff like that. He just cannot go out and talk, and he needs someone to confirm his and validate his actions. So in this case, like, that's why a coach is why he is. Like, you always need validation of your actions, because that's what you've been programmed to do from a very young age. And that's why, like, you search for coaches and mentors and stuff like that, and people like them. Is like, there are very, like, few people who are just gonna try to figure it out, all of it out themselves. And of course, like, there's time and effort, that friction. So you're gonna, and if you're a busy guy, you're just whatever, I'm gonna pay this guy to do it for me, or I'm gonna pay this guy to teach me whatever he has, right? Yeah, so he has been reading her emails on and off, somewhat like that. This, like, assuming like this is like somewhat of a character that actually, like, maybe like it somehow somewhat aligns with Blaine existing one. It probably is, right, more or less. And yeah, so market sophistication, let's talk about market sophistication, meaning like you cannot just say buy my dating program anymore. It just does not work like that. Need people are gonna buy it if it's from you, right? If it's from Blaine, or let's say Marnie Winger also has, but you're only gonna buy from the person, right? You're not gonna just buy from a random guy who you just heard about. It's gonna be hard, right? Blaine has more touch points. He has been in the space longer. Marnie, same, right? Maybe they are like good competitors and whatnot. Okay, so the markets of the market sophistication stuff, right? Yeah, you can just like say buy my course, dating course, and it's gonna help you attract bitches and stuff like that. You can't say that, but you can even say like you get a dating partner. You can, yeah. I think like that's still relevant right now. Get a dating partner in 90 days, like or your money back or something like that, right? It still works, I'd say, on some certain extent because it depends who you're targeting. If somebody has never heard of these sort of claims and hasn't like is unaware that stuff like these exists, then you can still go out and talk to them. For example, let's say it's the majority of the people in my country do not know these stuff. They hardly know about digital products and stuff like that. So if you go to them and target them, they are probably gonna buy, but they do not have the money. But as I said, it depends on the quality of your traffic as well. It's subjective. Now, assuming that they can buy, I don't think like many of the people they already know about that like this stuff online, and it's maybe they have tried before and they've been scammed by an ebook or stuff like that. But so you have some limits to break. So this is why understanding your prospect matters way more. Understanding the world, seeing the marketing world as your prospect is a very important task that you should do. I don't like what else are you gonna focus on, right? Like writing stuff. Like how are you gonna write until unless you know who you're speaking it to? Like it's common sense, but I'm guilty of this as well. It's not that I'm the best one, right? But this is what we generally tend to do. The market awareness, yeah, the same thing. How aware are people, like stuff like that. Now, yeah, this is only for problem aware people, right? Problem aware. Um, these are not specifically for unaware people, right? Unaware meaning like they are not actually like suffering with dating and stuff like that. But I don't think like anybody does not suffer with dating unless and until he's actually like secure with himself and secure in his relationship, which I know there are a lot of people, but the relationship space generally turns out to be problem driven, right? They generally start from the problem, which is nobody is like unaware of not wanting female attraction. Every man does, right? Every woman wants to find a good partner. Every man wants to find a good partner too. So I don't think like we are like majority of the people in the relationship space are problem aware that they know that they need that they because this is like a psychological and a biological force, right? both of the both of the genders, or let's say both of the sexes, know that they need a partner biologically and psychologically. uh, so they are problem aware. It's not that they're unaware. Okay, like this not like, oh, do I need a partner or something like that? No, right? They are problem aware. And yeah, unaware people exist, but only those people who are secure with the relationships or secure within themselves, and they do not belong to either male or female. Get that stuff, right? So problem with they know that they need like a partner or something like that, or something, somebody. Next is solution aware. Now they know that they need a coach, right? Let's say the solution aware. Now the solution, what could the solution be? Maybe her product, right? Let's say, okay, so I need a good product to apply. Maybe I need to like go out more often. I need, what else? I need to look better. I need to invest in my health, and I need to be around women, right? If you're not, how can maybe go travel to different places and post it on Instagram. That way, people, the women are gonna find you more interesting and whatnot. and stuff like that. Right now, they know some of the solutions, but they do not have actual clues. Now, the internet has played a very important role to getting people from the problem aware to the solution aware stage, right? Because like there are already tons of videos, and what do you actually do when you have a problem? You go on Google, right? How do you find, like, how do you get women often, right? How to get better at dating and stuff like that, some of the keywords. And you're gonna watch the entire thing, you're gonna go through it, you're gonna be aware, right? You're gonna get sophisticated, you're gonna be pushed like a level further into the market sophistication space. Now you're gonna watch content. You're gonna, okay, so this is it. Okay, so this guy has whack content. It's like 5 years from now. Now then you see like a raw content, meaning like unedited video, which has like a polarizing thumbnail. I'm not sorry. It does not even have a thumbnail, but the polarizing title, like how to actually get women. Um, Something like majority of the people, like you're being sold the wrong idea on women or something like that, like how to actually get women or something like that. You push the market sophistication, you position your markets, your content as a completely that's going to overcome every market sophistication issues like that's going to arise along the way. Your content is positioned that way. Now people are just gonna, okay, they were problem aware, now they're solution aware, now they're hyper solution aware. They know that they need to do this and this, right? But they're not going to apply it. As I said, you need validation for your action. Now they're no solution aware, now they're going to be aware about the product. Now maybe the guy whose content they consumed just now recently, those were like as just examples. I don't write random ass headlines like this. Even those headlines are saturated at this point, somewhat, let's say. Now if like the creator mentions that he has, or the content creator explains that he has, and he links that he has like a product, or he does coaching or something like that, and you should join it, and he links that in his descriptions, you're gonna be interested, you're gonna go watch it. But more or less, when you like first notice this guy, you're gonna binge a lot of content from him. You're gonna sign up to his newsletters. You're gonna sign up to his email list. You're gonna sign up to his. You're gonna go through his sales pages. You're gonna probably buy or not, right? It's like a spree whenever that happens. Like anybody's content, like whoever's content you've been addicted, this is the general pattern that you actually fall into. Actually, at least that I fall into. I fall into like the impulse buyer category, in my opinion. Okay, so they were problem aware, now they've been pushed into solution aware, hyper solution aware. You see, like internet has compressed the time frame between you going from one awareness stage to another one and another one, right? You were problem aware, and all of a sudden you saw yourself buying a product. The time frame that it takes for you to go from being problem aware to a buyer is so compressed, like these days, which is like only the best of the best people can do in this space, right? And the conversion window for them, the sales cycle for them, is compressed so, like, you got took a person from who was just problem aware to buy, like, get them to buy your stuff. Content has like a very huge influence on this. Ads generally turn out to do the same. But I hope you got the point, right? But let's say, the this excitement phase, it ends somewhere in between. And if you did not get the reader to buy your product within this window, it's going to be hard for you to monetize them later on, right? So you need more touch points, like as I say. And that's when emails come handy, right? People love reading your emails. Maybe like they have been watching your videos, they binged your videos, but all of a sudden forgot about it, or maybe something came up, right? So emails let you do the touch points, and with personalization to the max, it's getting more easier. For example, you can do abandoned cart sequences and stuff like that. Now enough on that end. So meaning like there are huge element to this whole funnel rather than emails itself. Emails are just the touch points and the conversion mechanisms, so you should see them it as them. So your email matters, your content in the email matters, but what matters is the touch points. You need to be consistently out there. You need to tell them that you exist and you care about them, and you should buy their product. They should buy your product because you have a good product, and you do not want them to buy somebody else's product and get scammed for it and whatnot. Now let's get actually okay. So your main objective here is not the copy. Your copy should only do the job of integrating, or let's say as a bridge between your offer and your prospect. All that is, all copy should do in this case is like, put you out there more often and be the bridge between your prospect and your offer. Now let's break down the actual stuff. Some here, okay, it follows like women are like expensive web domains, incongru, what the fuck, incongruous juxtaposition. Meaning, how could women are like? How can women be expensive? Like how this and this does not equate, right? This is some completely random, and this is completely random. How can these two make sense? Now you open the loop, you intrigue the reader, right? Like she intrigued me. Women are like expensive web domains. What does that mean, right? Now, sometimes you should not go too hard and too extreme with this, because you might like get them to say like so what type thing, right? It might become like a so what type thing, meaning like women are like expensive web domains. Like what does it have that? I'm not gonna read it. Something like that. It could happen, but this in this case is it's perfect to get somebody to open. So yeah, attention, you grab the attention. Yeah, this is gonna follow now we've already went through it, so follows the story SLC format, story lesson CDA, and the CDA is probably in the PS section. Like my one-on-one client Mark made a small fortune buying. Okay, number one, this acts as a context, right? Number two, it acts as a a third element, because who has clients? Probably somebody who knows better. The he bought dozens. Now next comes context, like this is the story part. The Marcus says something while telling me about a job. The number one mistake buyers make is falling in love with one domain name. They decide they must have you often have to hit such a big party to get it. Actually finding the owner, getting them to listen to you, hoping they want to sell it, hoping their price expectations are in line with what they can pay. They're basically unlimited options to choose from. Better to find a domain someone's ready to sell at a price you'll pay than go on a wild goose chase. Now guess what? Now she's gonna tie it back to the dating game. Now she has like an image of herself. Now having images of yourself right now, it's like you're having an issue. You're gonna have right now like you're sending images. If there are like a lot of images in your stuff, it's gonna be hard. You might face deliverability issues. So please check that as well. This applies to women dating. So this is the lesson part. Just because does not mean you should invest 100%. She might be single. She might think you're good, or blah. She might think, but or she could have done that, right? Mistake. This what it also does is ingrain. Wait a second, I'm getting called. Sorry guys, my mom just called me. So what this does is also ingrain some form with. So yeah, let's continue the thing. I act as if nothing happened, but yeah. So what she is trying to ingrain is that there could be nuances with it, the meaning like you do not know, there's a knowledge gaps. She's building the knowledge gap. Let's do building the knowledge gap, right? It could be this case, yeah, it could be this case as well, yeah, it could be this, yeah, or not, right? So whatever the circumstances may be, you need to act, you need to act based on the circumstance of the situation, right? So what if this is where the case, or what if this were the case, or what if this were the case? How would you know? You wouldn't know until and unless you hire me. So hire me, right? Or something like that. When you fix it on specific woman, you set yourself up for disappointment. Too many opportunities, things go wrong. Give yourself options. Recognize there are millions of amazing women out there. Meet multiple women, multiple ways, not just online. Up-level yourself and learn to create chemistry. Want to meet women multiple ways plus create chemistry. Okay, blah blah. Now join off. See this. Enjoy 30% off. Now whenever you say enjoy 35% off, or enjoy, like, I here's like a discount stuff, people just know that you're trying to sell them. They might buy it, they might not, depends, but they actually know that they're getting sold, or you're actually trying to sell them. You learn a blueprint that's helped 3,000 plus guys to meet women in real life. Now this is like authority, social proof, right? 3,000 guys have done it. Why not you? Even if you're awkward, shy, or lack experience, even if you have constraints, right? New, easy, safe, and big. Only anybody, predictable, fast. This is easy, and this is predictable, right? This is predictable because it's done by 3,000 guys. It's safe because she mentioned it. She mentioned that. I'm sorry. It's anybody, meaning like anybody can do this. When to approach and what to say. Now, never wonder if you're unwelcome or using the wrong line again. Now these are like fascinations, bullets, let's say, that will give you a curiosity, a hint of what's coming next. How to lead convos and land dates. Now these are basic benefits. These are basic features which are benefits. Now, how to lead convos and land dates. Now these are features, right? How to lead. I'm going to teach you how to lead a conversation, but you conclude that it's a benefit. So whenever you talk about features and benefits, you need to know that if you need to find if there are benefits that people, I'm sorry, you need to find if there are features that people already conclude that they are benefits, right? Why can I do this? Okay, features positioned as benefit, but it depends on the traffic, so it's better to go through that thing, features and benefits phase. It's actually better because you should always assume that you're writing for cold traffic copy. In 2024, I surveyed 13,000 single women, and literally 95% this said they wish they were approached more often. Approach the right way, and your future girlfriend with Approach Academy. Okay, so they are now. She's also building the future pacing element, right? She says like there's a huge opportunity. There's like opportunity, right? There's a room for improvement. There's a room for chance. Meaning like you can, given that 95% women said this, meaning like there are a lot of women out there. So meaning like there's abundance of women. Meaning like I can probably get a dating partner and stuff like that, right? You learn a blueprint. What does blueprint imply? Blueprint implies that it's step by step, it's detailed, it's easy, right? Easy emotion. If you like go through every word she's used, or let's say it's probably a copywriter, I don't think it could be, it could not, but it is assumed it is. If you like go through this, it's just new, easy, safe, and big. Only anybody, predictable, fast. Now of course, like there are not all the emotions that you can cover in every part of the copy, and somewhere you mentioned the new, somewhere you mentioned, I don't think there was a new and only element to this, but which the only element builds up with your brand once you, as I said, you build those touch points, and you have like a unique mechanism to your brand that nobody else has like, and over a long duration and over a long market sophistication cycle, you are the only person, right? You are unique. You by yourself are unique. That's why like you should just be authentic. That is your unique mechanism in the info space. Whether you're a coach or coach, right? Whether you're like a digital, you sell digital products, you can only have the unique selling proposition. You can have for unique USP for each of your products, but you can have your USP in your brand by being authentic yourself as well, right? If you're trying to be someone who you're not, people are gonna find out, people are gonna notice it, right? The fake energy in your videos and stuff like that. When like, aren't you like so frustrated about the top 5 ways, the highly edited videos, which do not, where people do not talk as if you're a normal guy. They're like high energy. They mention like all this positivity. You can sense the fakeness, right? So yeah, that is a huge point. The only element of the, a big huge, like the big air emotions, that the only emotion can only happen if you are who you are, right? If you become, if you just act as your authentic self. I hope you guys took something away from this video. I hope it was beneficial like every other video, or let's say I hope you took something away. I hope I gave you some form of idea. If not, sorry. At least you got to break down the stuff a day, right? At least thank me for that in the comment section if you watched till the end to this point. Yeah, do like reach out to me. I guess maybe if you want the like the 550 swipe files, I might send it over. I might, yeah, because of like it's just emails, right? Majority of them. If you want that, you can reach out to me. If not, like hit a comment section. You are the G. You watched my entire video, even though nobody actually is. Yeah, that's it, and I'll meet you on the next one. DDOS number 51. Here we come.